6 Domino's franchises. I'm sure he'll talk to you guys a little bit about that. Where his customer experience has been coined the RamonWOW effect. Today, Ramon is going to be talking to you guys about a social strategy outlook, the evolution of your customer, and what's next for your brand. So please help me welcome Ramon.
Gotta love that. I'll tell you what, no matter what you do, you always got to make sure you're prepared. And I got this thing about always wanting to drink water, so I need to make sure on that. Brianna, first of all, thank you very much for the opportunity to come back. I mean, I feel like your event is my new home. My name is Ramon de Leon. I am the former marketing mind behind 6 Domino's pizza stores in Chicago. Now, typically when you hear that sentence, notice how I pause for that camera. That's creating content. Help yourself. Now, normally when you hear that sentence, you're going to say, now seriously? The entire time here in Las Vegas, Domino's Pizza in Chicago, that's a sentence where it's got 2 words that shouldn't even be together, considering Chicago is known as one of the pizza capitals of the world. It's a career that I just finished the last June from 27 years. And I started as a pizza delivery driver, and I must have a story to tell if I'm here in Las Vegas. So I'm going to give you a snapshot of what I call social media made in Chicago. Now, let's start this off by talking about Chicago in case you haven't been there lately or have seen the news. We got some really unique things back in the Windy City, such as when it snows, we like to save parking spaces with leftover accessories from the summer. Don't dare move one of those parking spots because whoever shoveled that out will not be happy. On the left, that's my backyard since like November. That's my sheepdog, Old English sheepdog Gollum. Even he looks at me at 5:45 in the morning and says, dude, I can wait. It is cold. My selfie on the right, I was smiling. I had to have one eye covered because the thing is that it's so cold when you are blinking, you run the risk of your eyelashes getting stuck together. So those are some little unique scenarios we got in Chicago that people here in the desert and in Southern California just kind of don't have. We also love to tweet. In the upper left-hand corner, Clear Channel has got these digital billboards across the city. They're going to run this promo for Valentine's Day. If you tweet them, your tweet to your sweetheart could possibly make it into one of the billboards. And why do people from Florida keep telling us how beautiful and how hot it is when it's freezing cold in Chicago? But kudos, you got to love those 2 sandals on top of the cars because I've stared at that photo more than a few times, and actually it's Arizona. But when it comes to social media, back down in Chicago, it's even graffiti. If you've ever been in Chicago around St. Patrick's Day, don't freak out if you see a dog dressed in green with a go cam. I mean, you just pass by it like nothing. Oh, cool dog, nice dog. You're kind of run-of-the-mill thing. I don't know if it's the lack of oxygen in the winter. Is it the water that we drink? Or is it just this cold? But there's something about social media in Chicago that I think just clicks. Fox News, when it launches, the first thing that they tell you is the news is upcoming. Please go to our app on your iPad so that you can follow the second screen experience. You see, you understand that your customers, your viewers, your friends, your followers will do things if you make it fun and if you ask them to do it. So next time you look at your metrics, next time you look at your KPIs, next time you look at the things that make your brand a business and wonder, why aren't people doing it? Ask yourself, have I asked people to do it? Have I made it fun? Would I do it myself? It is so cold in Chicago that we can't even tell the time or the temperature. Outside temperature and the office temperature have the time, and an outdoor billboard says 746 XX. So I think that we are under a winter advisory in Chicago until like April. But why am I here? You know, believe it or not, there was once this 19-year-old kid that for some reason wanted to deliver pizza. Now, pizza, now seriously? See, I thought that when we ordered pizza on Fridays, that was like the job to have. The pizza delivery guy would come up to the house, and he always seemed to have a wad of cash in his hand. Now, granted, this was like nearly 30 years ago, before credit cards, before e-commerce, before all of these other things. And I said, that's got to be cool. You know, I'm going to school, and I think I want to have that part-time job. And that Datsun 310, man, did we deliver some pizzas. Good thing that at the age of 7, I got the MBA of business from my mom, selling Avon door to door. That has got to be the equivalent today of selling vacuum cleaners door to door. So when you're 7 years old, now if I'm born in 67, do the math, we're talking the 70s here. Can you imagine my boredom? I mean, if I had a 7-year-old today, he would be bored, even with gadgets, Wi-Fi, and all of these tools. So I could never understand. I would ask my mother, why do we spend so much time at each home? Can't you just drop off the Avon book, or have me walk up and down, ring the doorbells, and just leave them in the mailboxes, break a couple of postal laws that I didn't know about? I mean, we could hit more houses, Mom. She says, you know what? Nico, that's Spanish for son. She said, Nico, you know what? I am not the only person in this neighborhood, in this city, selling Avon. I need to make sure that my customers get to know me, like me, and trust me so they can buy from me. Now, you know what? That's a tweetable fact today, nearly 30 years later. Now, when she told me that, being 7, that just shot right over my head. I'm like, I got no idea what you're talking about, Mom. But you know, later in life, you get those aha moments when you either have kids or you get a job and things come full circle. And I realized that when I had one of my first jobs, I said, I need to mimic what my mother taught me, which was to show up early to work. So my first day on the job, I was supposed to start at 5, I got there at 4:30, and good thing I did, because if I did not get there at 4:30, well, to me, I wouldn't be here. You'd probably have someone else doing a heck of a better job. But the thing is, because I got there a half hour early, the manager was able to tell me, dude, where is your belt? And I told him, you know what, I just don't own a belt. I'll tell you what, after I make the tips tonight, I'll go buy one. He said, you know what, it's part of the uniform. And he set the standards from day one. No belt, no job. It's 4:35 p.m. I told him, you know what, if I can go get a belt and be back by 5, do I still have a job? He said, you now have 24 minutes. How many of you, in a recruiting process, in a hiring process, said, you know what, I need these 10, these 15, these whatever goes, and said, well, you know what, this one person, maybe we can let this slip, and we can train, and we can do that. Well, the problem is, I think, if he would have let me slide, and I would have still had the job, later on in my career, when I had to hire somebody, instead of hiring a 10 like I believe he did, I would hire lower than me. Because if I was a 9, I'm not going to hire a 10, I'm going to hire an 8. So the thing is that when you have that opportunity, especially when you're going to give somebody the authority of the send button, make sure you spend that time on that training. And you make what you need to be done, those qualifications, and you make them rigid. You make them stick. Otherwise, no one is ever going to believe in your authority. Fortunately enough, I got the job, and I made a difference. 1 year into the job, McDonald's decided to come down to one of our pizza stores. Now, I'm just a pizza delivery driver, but I'm a brand ambassador there. See, I lived the brand because I felt that every single thing that I did, I always wanted to make sure that the customer ordered again. My whole thing, you know, when you deal with people that work in a tipped environment, we care about the tip. Every single thing we do is centered around that. But in reality, it's like dating. You know, when you get that first date, in reality, what you're doing is you're working on the second date. Just like you're here at GSMI, don't you think we're going to get targeted so that we come back? The game here is no different. So McDonald's comes down, they brought every single character except for Ronald. They read us a scroll and they said, we are here to take over as the pizza delivery kings of River North and Chicago. Domino's Pizza, you are on our radar. Oh my God, life before YouTube, life before video, life before security cameras, because otherwise I would show you that video right now. But I said, oh really? So I tell the manager, I said, we got to go do something, brother. He said, exactly. I got a bat in the back of my car. Let's go take care of business. I said, no. Now, if anybody's from Chicago, that McDonald's there is known as the Rock and Roll McDonald's. Their flagship store today is this 2-story McCafe, totally awesome store. Drive-through wasn't even invented then. So I said, this is what we're going to do. We are going to go down there from 11 to 1 o'clock, and we are going to occupy McDonald's. We're going to occupy McDonald's a decade before the word occupied even existed. And what we did is we gave away 300 pizzas by the slice. And we were just telling people, why are you going to go spend money when you got free pizza here? The owners came out about an hour later. They said, all right, this is pretty cool. Then the newspaper showed up, and we made some PR out of it, and we made some fun. On my hip is a pager that you can't see, and I had a brick Motorola phone in my back pocket. So I must have liked the widgets, and gadgets from early on in the game. Try and tweet that. So I want to share with you what I call one of my first mindsets, which is make sure that you show up early with the desire to make a difference in whatever it is that you do. I mean, you come to this conference, come here with the desire to make a difference with everything that you learn. There's incredible speakers we've had the past 2 days. I tell people, I'm boring. Look at everyone else. Look at MGM just got off of this stage. The people that were here, take that content, take a tenth of a nugget, something that you can chew on, something that you can share, something that you can make it into an action plan and make a difference, or stop coming to these conventions. Sorry about that, Brian. So my goal today is exactly this. My goal is to inspire you to make a difference in the lives of your customers. My goal is to help you make a difference in the lives of your followers, your friends, anybody that you come in touch with. I want to inspire you. Just like I get inspired in the mornings when I look at that sunrise come up while waiting for that metro train, and it is bone-chilling cold. The next thing you need to do, whatever you do, make sure that you care more about your customers than your competitors do. Now, if this is dating, what happens if someone else cares more about your girlfriend than you do? Business is no different. Because if you don't do that, and especially if you were one of my pizza competitors in Chicago, and you went online and you said, oh my God, I can't believe of this poor service, I would rip that customer straight out of your database, show them so much love they would forget how to spell your name. You don't want to run into somebody that's just as bold as I do. Because I'll tell you what, I believe in Generation Next that I'm going to share with you later before we're done. I tell people, I will go into the womb to steal your next customers. Because this is business. And that's how you make decisions. Realize this, that people capture what's important to them, not what's important to you. Sydney, Australia, I had to go see, I tried to ask if she would show me her nails, but it must have been one heck of a manicure. Those 2 girls on the right, preteens, friends of the family, Snapchatting, Instagramming the day away. You want to learn about social media? Go hang out with a couple of preteen girls and ask them. And I asked them, I said, now Nicole, what do you think about Facebook? She says, I don't like it. I said, how about your friends? They don't like it either. I said, why? And then her friend chimes in. Because people you don't even know try and be your friend. That's gross. Check that out. We're getting schooled here. People share what's important to them. Back at the agency, we had Channel 9 co-anchor Nancy Luce stop in. And she's sharing her passion and her stories about what she does and how she uses the digital tools. And we curate her conference. We give her a nice blog post and incredible photos. And because it's important to her, she shares it. Every single interaction that you have with your customers, your friends, your followers, anything digital, that content is what I call your digital DNA. It can't be erased. My fingerprints here, this DNA right here, can I erase that? Most likely. How about we just pop out that camera and do something? It's there. Even Snapchat can get captured. The other mindset I want to share with you. Think about this. Whatever it is that you do, if you were to dissolve today, would your customers miss you? Would they go out there looking for you? would they say, you know what, I'm surprised I haven't seen one of his tweets today. How come I didn't get that newsletter? I usually get it 3 times a week. How come I didn't get those SMS messages? What's going on? I usually get a direct mail from them every Thursday and every Monday. Where are they at? Are you going to call them? The only way that they will miss you is if you make that content important to them. Give up trying to control everything. Have some fun and make them smile. So because Facebook just turned 10 years old, I decided I want to share the story with you. In 2004, I had a Domino's pizza store at Northwestern University. That freshman complex, those 2 black windows on the left, the freshman's known as Foster Walker Plex. Every single Monday, I would have a reunion with the Residence Hall Council. Roughly about October, November of 2004, Megan Ostertag, who was the social chair for the Residence Hall Council, she says, Ramon, I need to tell you about this new thing. It's called the Facebook. And she pops up her laptop and shows me everything that's in there. And I'm like, oh my God, we're like looking at porn together because I am on steroids right now. How can I exist on this? She said, Ramon, you need a .edu email address. Oh, I got your back. I said, well, let's do something. She also told me if you want to make Domino's explode on campus, you need an AOL screen name. And I said, what for? She said, every student on campus not only has a Facebook account, they have an AOL screen name. And if you as a brand have one, and you put it on your print marketing pieces, students will talk to you. And I'm like, I love it. It's exactly what we did. So she started a Facebook group for us. And in 2005, every single event that we were part of on campus, we took photos. My nephew put the Domino's logo on there, his company logo on there. We had a really simple blog, NU Domino's, and we uploaded tons, dozens of photo albums of every single thing we did on campus. If you ordered a pizza, just you yourself, you got 3 pictures. If you had a party going on, I'd send you a disposable camera and tell you, you know what? Take these photos. I'm going to make double prints. I'm going to give you not only a set of the prints, but a digital copy. See, we were giving people content to share. So that's exactly what content marketing is all about today. But we made it important about them, not about us. This is 2005. So can you believe this? 2005, this is what I was thinking. Good thing it went public. I love how Cranes uses that. They say, invest in the stock ticker, YOU. The reason I want to share this with you is you're going to run into obstacles where you want to do something you don't have a budget. You want to use something you got no idea. Are you willing to invest? Are you willing to do? Are you willing to take the risks that's necessary to invest in you? Obviously, because you are here. But the real big challenge is when you get back and you make a difference. So early on in the game, and I'm talking about 05 here, we had to define social media. Because I said, okay, this is fun, we're selling pizzas, and all these nice rainbows are starting to connect, but this is a business. So social media for us early on in the game was just an aggregate of tools in addition to our core business plan. I said, you either make pizza, bake pizza, deliver pizza, that's it. Social is going to be in addition to, not in place of. I said, oh my God, let's run and do this. So my mindset was really simple. This is all we did. These were my KPIs. These were my metrics. These were the parts of my business that dated a business. Treat customers like friends. Really simple. People would ask me, well, why? I said, it helps with business making decisions. You see, when you ask someone, give me some characteristics about a customer, 10 of them, they will rattle off 3, 4, maybe 5 like this. And they'll be challenged 6 through 10 to not be boring and not duplicate the first 5 they said. But if I ask you, give me 10 characteristics of your best friend, you will give me 20, and each one of them will be unique. So the thing is, we had to clear up the mind. We said, we're going to treat our customers like friends. Every single decision that we make, we need to make it based on being a friend, and you're going to watch how we're going to show our customers more love than anyone else. We wanted to have fun and interactive ordering. I mean, we launched beta 7 years before Domino's corporate online ordering. We wanted to educate the students how to use the tools of social media. Why? Because they weren't going to be students forever. I wanted to get to know them, interact with them, engage with them, make them never forget the day that they met me when they left school, got an internship at a nice office downtown, created their startup or went on to go work at Mashable, like Ben Parr or many other guys. I said, don't forget that. I wanted them to get to know the face behind the logo. That's how we humanize the brand. We wanted them to get to know who I was, who the team were, what did we like, what were the things that we wanted to do, and our print marketing pieces couldn't be boring. See, before social, we would use these message boards at Northwestern. This is before Yelp was invented. So students would go on here and make comments about our brand, about their experiences, rate it, give us stars. We could reach out to them, say thank you, and do whatever we want. So Northwestern, my God, I mean, you guys should have invented Yelp before Yelp. I mean, you already had it in your backyard. These were the screenshot of AOL Instant Messenger chats from 2005. You can see NU Domino's was my screen name. I would just engage with students in conversation. So now just imagine, I'm talking to students in 20 characters. So when Twitter was invented, I said, thank you. Somebody just gave me an extra 100 characters, and my competitors are saying, how could I say what I want to say in 140 characters? I'm like, that's your problem, but I just got a gift. So the school newspaper wrote about us in October of 2005, and the two biggest bullet points I want here is the last sentence on the top paragraph. I look to really create friendships with students and then make customers out of those friendships. You see, today, we want to do everything the reverse. We want customers first, then we want friends. See, the thing is, I go back to being 7 years old. I need them to get to know me, like me, trust me, then buy from me, and everything else will fall in place. So now just imagine, 10 years later, today, 2004, students that I engage with, Associate Brand Manager for Vaseline, Lisa Akey, working for Unilever out of New York. Jennifer Kim, Social Media Marketing Director for the Chicago Fire. Do you think that as a business, because I was thinking Generation Next, I was thinking a decade from now, there's ROI? Oh my God. Let me tell you, conversation was my LinkedIn before LinkedIn was my LinkedIn. So I'll tell you what, if you are inspired, you will be in demand. Now, is the guy from CNN still here? Because I shared this story with them. I said in 2009, spoke at a social media conference, and I think that this was the first one that was ever streamed live on CNN.com. Now, granted, Gary Vaynerchuk, MC Hammer, Dunkin' Donuts, and a few other notables were there. But they said, hey, you want to come here and shout for about 20 minutes? I said, absolutely. So the thing is that if you have a story to share, become a case study. So now we fast forward what we're doing. We no longer have to take photos. Students are doing it themselves. This is 2009, 2010. 2011, oh my God, now they're making videos of the pizza guy delivering their pizza. Love it, love it. Why do they do that? When's the last time you made a video of having food delivered? You're so excited with your barista who knows what you want before you even got there. Doesn't happen. But because we had nurtured these relationships long in the game and we were looking further ahead than right now, that's what happened. Then they bring on Twitter. Oh my God, Twitter's my playground. But one of the things here is, I want to share with you, this shitstorm is the only way that I can call it. So in April of 2009, we had a customer that tweeted her bad experience. Now even today, this is why brands don't want to use social. I'm saying I love it. I would rather know when someone has a problem and to be able to engage with it. So my alerts go off. Screenshot, text message, everybody, find this customer. I get a response back about 20 minutes. The store says, boss, I already took care of it. She called the store, we gave her credit for future order, we sent her another pizza. I'm like, you know what, that's cool, but she tweeted this. So we need to respond in an open forum. So I did what brands today are afraid to do. I went down to the store. There's the URL of the video, tinyurl.com/wow. Now, I'm almost thinking, is this before Bitly? Because it was a while ago. Lucky me, Jackie Huba from the Church of the Customer blog somehow found this video. She finds it, blogs about it, starts sharing it, gets blogged about all over the world in countries that I got no idea. I got to look at the extension after the .com to figure out where it's at. Then Jackie and Seth Godin decided to play it at the Minneapolis Interactive Marketing Association. So now you can imagine that this thing really got some serious traction. All we did in that video was apologize and said, Amy, I'm sorry for what happened. We reviewed what happened. We want to make sure we put procedures in place so that no one has to suffer what you suffered. Now what that was taking our statement of customer service and we branded Chicago. We said, you know what, pizza places, This is the level of customer service that I am willing to do in a radical, accessible, open, transparent format. And if you guys want to even consider touching this, let's do it. And even today, people are afraid to own up on video. People are afraid to open up in a digital format to say, I'm sorry. DM me your information. Now, granted, some stuff does have to be personal and private. But you know what? Jump on it before your competitors do. This video got so much traction that Siok out of Singapore included it in what she calls Twittermentary. And this is being shown at conferences at schools all over the world. Jaipur, India, Singapore. This has been at South by. I was at PayPal. And I love it. Every other month I get tweets about it, say, hey, Ramon, we're checking out your video. The other thing that we did is we had another concern, and not that we were bad and everything that we did was bad, but you know what? I jumped on opportunities to let the world know the level of customer service that we're willing to provide. It was on the beginning of the football season, where she says, Ramon, I'm here, I'm waiting an extra hour for a pizza, please help. 3:02 p.m. 35 minutes later, we took care of the problem. I talked to her on the phone. I talked to the manager on the phone. I said, guys, get your head from out under your shoes. Fix this now, and we did. So she ultimately told me, you know, Ramon, I appreciate what you did when you contacted me, but it shouldn't have happened. And the worst thing is that you made me miss half of a football game. And I told her, I said, Lauren, don't worry about it. Next pizza order, I got a surprise for you. She ordered pizza 2 weeks later. We sent her 2 tickets to a Bears game. See, the thing is that the only way that happens is because I treat her like friends. See, the thing is, if I look at her maybe as a customer, maybe as someone, I've never even personally met Lauren. And the whole thing is that because I said this is what I would expect someone to do for me. And so that's what made that. We just went back. Okay, boss, you say treat customers like friends. This scenario, what happens is we got to send it to a game. That's it. So I would do what no other brands would do. Revisit customer concerns a year later. So a year later, I said, Lauren, you know what? About a year ago, we messed up your pizza. How would you like to have a pizza party on the house? Dude, twist my arm. A year later, boom, there she is. 20 people. Can you imagine what the conversation was like at the water cooler on Monday? Hey, where'd you see the game? What did you do? Boom, boom, boom. That's creating content. That's creating shareable moments. So then I said, okay, how about 2 years later? Same thing. Lauren, you know what? 2 years ago, remember when I messed up your pizza? Yeah, Ramona. Now, I really apologize for that. I think, there you go. How about 3 years later? Now just imagine those that are married, those that have significant others. I will never tell my wife. Remember a year ago we got really mad at you? Now there are limits and there are parameters. But you know, was part of this a business decision? Was part of it wanting to keep the story going? Absolutely. But that one there from 2013, I was already outside of the brand. So either way, I look forward to doing this doing this for Lauren as long as she's willing to accept the gift. We became a case study. Party Aficionado uses it and she screenshot like the entire Twitter conversation. She's an adjunct professor for University of California, Ingleside, Riverside, one of those two. And she's out of Oklahoma. Twitter ID is Party Aficionado. Now the other thing is, I love this tweet from you earlier today, Ellie, when you said that 96% of people that visit your page don't come back because of the algorithm. That's why I love Twitter. Because the thing is, I try and figure out how could we eliminate those algorithms between you and your customer. Sometimes, you know, the way you do it, you just say, you just tweet, you just blog, you just post when you have something to say. And when you have somebody's attention, somebody's in front of you, and that moment is there, you need to jump on it. It's not the same as it was for me with some pizza restaurants, as it might be for you in your enterprise scenarios, dealing with global scenarios, dealing with language changes, dealing with time zones, because there's data for that. But if you want to start with something, start from the heart. Now, because I have always given levels of customer service, now and then I've experienced customer service myself. So a year and a few months ago, I'm coming back from the web in Paris, and I tweet American Airlines. And I said, America, when this plane lands in Chicago, I would have finally made executive platinum status. Could I get some love? So they tweet me back, yes, we send you virtual confetti. I'm like, wow, this is beautiful. I'm showing everybody in the plane, look at this, look what American Airlines is doing. This is beautiful. I mean, I'm feeling great. So then when the plane lands, 7 hours later, let's make sure that video cues up. This is what happened.
You're not going to believe this world. Jet bridge. All right. I just got off the plane. I've been in Chicago only a few minutes, and then I hear my name say, Ramon de Leon, please come here. So I am being greeted by staff friends here from American Airlines here in Chicago, and your goal is what was your message to me?
Congratulations on your executive platinum status. Woo!
Oh my God!
You're happier than I am.
Thank you very much.
That's a selfie
RamonWOW
with my cell phone.
Thank you for business.
Grab the tools out of your pocket and practice. Now, so if you want to follow me on Twitter for whatever reason, I got no idea. But you know what? If you catch me flying, you will find me tweeting American Airlines. And it was so funny coming here because of the flight delays and everything. I'm not in Dallas. Are we going to make it out or are we not? I was like, you know. And then Catherine Meredith chimes in. She says, "Oh my God, Ramon, watching you tweet with American Airlines, it's like American Air is your personal flight Siri." And I said, you know, I'm just blessed that they show me some love. So you know what? I tell people if an airline can do it, your brand can do it. Now we're going to start talking a little bit about you know, when I start talking about here about like Generation X. So a year ago, I had a customer tweets me that says, "You know what? My refrigerator is empty. You got any deals left after the Super Bowl?" And I said, "Absolutely, Miss Lori." So we put a deal together, Shorter's Pizza. We send it to her. Then I am shocked when I see this. Hit the cue of the video.
Mr. Ramon for feeding us since our mom forgot to. We are RamonWOW.
Now I said, hold on, wait a minute, wait a minute, hold on. This is a 9-year-old child. This is a parent teaching a child how to engage with a brand on social. So I gave Ms. Lori, you make sure you want to do this. This is your daughter. This and that. So no, she's just fun. You know, she loves Domino's, and I really messed up. And she's really happy. And she wanted to send you this note. She writes this note on the pizza box to me. And I'm thinking, wow, I was just shocked. I was like, all right, what can I do other than talk about it at a conference? So then, later throughout the year, I started seeing other customers taking photos with their kids holding pizza boxes. And she's like, you know, my son's 2 years old today, and you know, I ate pizza during the pregnancy, and we had pizza when he was 1 year old. Now when he's 2 years old, I want to have these photos as he gets older. And I'm thinking, oh, well, I mean, I'm surprised. I mean, I didn't know. I was just like blown away, you know, to see kids engaging here. Then I come to Las Vegas and I get a T-shirt for Clemente, my nephew's son. You know, it says right on there. You know, I can't even talk, but I'm on Facebook. So I'm thinking, you know what? This is Generation Next. Some people are calling it Generation Z, Generation whatever. I don't know, but this is Generation Unnamed. So now I mean, this is like being beyond a digital native. So then at CES last year, I see the potty training there. And I'm like, who in the world came up with that? Now, the majority of people fly here, okay? Look for the Sky Mall magazine. The picture on the right, that's from Sky Mall magazine. A bidet with an iPad holder. So they feel, okay, so kids are going to mimic what the adults do. I said, Ave Maria, I mean, the adults, I mean, what's going on here? Is this how kids are being brought up? Watch this. I think he's 2. So when kids like that get that feeling that they can make you guys laugh and can make somebody in a parade do that, what does that say for their self-esteem? I mean, we've heard stories about it. I think somebody here's from Intel. I think at CES, I heard that your youngest employee is like 14 years old or 16 years old, and when he was working the floor, he could only be there a certain amount of hours because of child labor laws. And then the kid from Marissa Mayer had him on there. The kid from London, he's like 13 or 14 years old, sold his company for like $30 million to Yahoo. I mean, that's how these kids are going to grow up. These are going to be the kids that are going to grab the remote control of the TV, which 46 here was a lifesaver because I no longer had to get up, go change the channel, and come back. Okay? But he's going to grab it one of these days and say, the remote control for the TV and the VCR and the other boxes that you have, listen to me, VCR, you know, those other boxes are the dumbest inventions of mankind because I could just run it from my phone. And I'm going to look at that kid and say, are you kidding me? The remote control was a lifesaver. So then I started thinking some more. Doesn't mean that I'm right, but I was just thinking, you know what? Maybe kids today don't want to grow up to be president. Maybe they just want to get his attention. Now, If you don't know the story about Bad Kid, just Google Bad Kid San Francisco. Got the attention of the president. And Obama even shouted out, way to go, I think his name was Miles. So I think that the writing is on the wall. The writing is in the tweets. Super Bowl, how many commercials had kids in them? A very big number. So is that an audience that we're trying to reach? If it is, do some studies. Babies on social media. Wearable technology with kids. Instead of, when the iPhone first came out, instead of just taking a photo of the kid, now with the wearable technology, data of the child is being sent back to your phone. Quite possibly to even a monitoring center to let you know if your child has a fever, stops breathing while you're asleep. This is big data coming inside with all of these wearable technologies. So now you're going to have kids that are used to, that are not only digital natives, they are used to having this wearable technology on them. How is your brand ready? How is your message? Is it mobile? You know, that's what you have to start thinking about. You think you have challenges right now, just trying to, get past Facebook's algorithm so that they can see you in their news feed, so that you can catch them on Twitter, that you can respond to the blog, so you can go take a look at TripAdvisor, so you can get a look at this, they put hacer esto in that language, whatever. There is even more coming down the pipe with these digital natives that are going to want stuff now. How many parents in here said, I will never text my kid? That's what I'm talking about. It's going to change. There's no app that can make this happen other than a face-to-face, real human reaction. Interaction. I love how a friend of mine, she posts, you know what, I don't know why there's so much drama around kids. Kids today will just signal you very simply and let you know what they want. Can you imagine if adults, if we were this transparent? Kids are growing up mobile. 38% of kids have had access, have played with a mobile device before the age of 2. This is Bowling Elementary School. Now, when I saw this during report card pickup, I said, you know what? This poster, this belongs in offices around the world. Before you name it, think, is it? Oh my God, you know what? I need to take a photo of this and ask, do you think this would do really good in your office? Because the thing is that we sometimes we just don't think, or we think too fast, and once you hit send, forget it, it's done. Kids today are making such an impact on mobile. This is Las Vegas here. Rugged cases for phones. Why? Because he's definitely going to drop your phone. Have you heard that? You know when that phone drops, everybody stops, and when we all like, oh, did it make it? Is it okay? Did you crack the screen? Because if you did crack the screen, we all know where to go get it fixed. In Mexico, Dr. René Galvan has his Twitter ID on pediatric prescriptions. I told him, who are you talking to? And is it the parents or it's the kids? He said, both. Because at 13, you can get a Twitter account. I'm like, oh my God, doctor, you're killing me. But you know what, in reality, your mobile device, that cell phone, that thing that's probably on 15% battery today, right now, if you have been tweeting, if you have been making use of it, is the remote control of life. But that remote control of life is still going to require you to get up, take action, and think. I couldn't believe it when I saw this pillow. I said, you know what, there are probably so many kids that actually think that. Say, my career plans were so different when I was 5 years old. When I'm in the airport in Vienna and I see kids in these ads, where are they getting their energy from? There's writing on the wall. I don't know what it is, but pay attention to within your brand. There's something out there. If you want to humanize your brand, really simple. Trust your instincts. How can you humanize your brand if the tools that you use and the things that you want to do are not human? Your instincts are the most human thing you possibly have. So if you're not using your instincts to humanizing your brand, I believe you're headed the wrong way. You need to be your own caffeine. You need to be the person within your organization that lights up the room when you walk in, not when you walk out. Your content. Don't be lazy and don't be boring. Real photos from Domino's pizza stores in Chicago. Difficult is good. You absolutely need to embrace that. You need to make a difference because there's something that's called bad social media disease and it's global. Melbourne, Australia, when you get up, When you get off the plane and you go, Skybus, so cool, cool, let me tweet you. Find you on Facebook, YouTube, but how? No URLs. London Heathrow Airport, same thing. Hamburg, doesn't matter if it's in German, same thing, no URLs. I'm thinking maybe Facebook, Twitter, YouTube are just taking out ad space. It happened in Chicago. Did anyone fly in to Terminal D in Las Vegas? I cannot believe this. But then I realized maybe this is why Brianna is having the event here in Las Vegas, so that somebody can let them know that this serves absolutely no value. What is the Twitter ID for the McCarran International Airport? I have no idea. Why make me go look for it? Would you date somebody if he or she just said, call me? What's your phone number? Just call me. Come on. That's exactly what they're saying there. And that sign has been like that for like 5 years. I don't understand this. Is this a cross promotion? You know, where they're getting ad space and maybe Facebook and Twitter are advertising there. But if anybody knows them, tell them, you know what, you just got called out again. And then, Dios mío, how could you possibly do this? I'm staying here at Bally's up on the 7th floor, exactly where the bend is. And they know that that's a pet peeve of mine. So what do? They pass this monorail every 8 minutes outside my window, and they say, Ramon, here you go, buddy. Some more Facebook and Twitter logos with no URLs. What good, what benefit is that doing for the monorail? What benefit or good is that doing for Las Vegas? Can someone answer that? Because I can't. See, the whole thing is that everybody is so busy. You need to get people's attention because we're busy. We're multitasking. We're doing this. We're talking in diferente idiomas and in different languages. And if you don't make it plain and simple, yes, he's brushing his teeth while walking down the central business district in Sydney, Australia. See, TVs today, and especially in my home, they are the second or the third screen. And sometimes the TV is used to project what's on the handheld onto the screen. My house is like this. When my kids, they're 13 and 15, when they go into their Vine studio, they put this on the door that says, don't make no noise, because we're creating content. Try and individualize your content. Izzy's Ice Cream out of Minnesota, St. Paul, I actually think. What's really cool with them is it's a variety gourmet ice cream shop. They have more flavors than fit in the display case. So how do they solve that? They use RFID tags. So when the RFID tags, what they do with them is that when it comes out of the freezer into the display case, they get scanned or read. It gets curated onto a display board on the right, and then that gets tweeted out. What do kids love? Kids love ice cream. Would you, let's just say they have this maple nut flavor, and if that's your flavor, you create, for that hashtag, you create an alert or something on your phone, and then you get it, you're like, oh my God, Izzy's got that maple nut, let's go. You know, it's simple solutions, just don't overthink it. Realize that social media, it's about people. It's not about the technology. Now earlier today, I believe this got shared, but I had to share it again because Brian Kramer's my social media brother. I absolutely love my social media brother, Brian Kramer. And I told him, you know what, I heard this mentioned earlier today, and I'm going to give you some due love because it's not B2B. It's not B2C. It's always been human to human. It always was. It always will be. Live it. Now, we're about to wrap this up here. So all of this stuff sounds cool, right? But for me, the marketing department's goal is to figure out what your customers need. What colors we like, what size we want, what flavors you like, what packaging makes you smile. Use the tools of social media to get to know, to get to engage, to get to become a part of the customer's life so that they can help you sell that product. One of my former customers, Mary Kay in Chicago, she says, Ramon, I had a friend of mine that lives outside your delivery area. And when he told me that, I said, you know what? You need to move because I can't imagine not having RamonWOW in my life. You need to be able to engage with your customers, to drive that conversation, those passions so deep that they're willing to take a digital social media bullet for you. Cue up this video. And I'm going to tell you the story behind this after it plays. Two friends in a cab. A little twist.
We're in the disco cab.
Last week, San Antonio, Eric Chester on the ride back to the airport.
Right now, 1, 2, go! Let's go!
The disco cab. They got 3D glasses. They got glow sticks. On a few days earlier, on the ride from the airport to the hotel, they had the worst cab ride ever. Cab driver wouldn't even let them out of the cab until they paid first. So their expectations of a decent cab ride on the way back were extremely low. The rest of that video, we'll tweet it out. They're just dancing in that cab. I can't imagine what the cab driver got for a tip. But the cab had it set up to the point where he curated the content for them and gave it to them. So if you have experiences, if you have moments to create shareable moments, to make an absolute difference in the lives of your customers, do it. Have some fun. So now that I'm on the agency side, I love it. Because that's exactly what I'm going to try and do. I'm going to try and take all of these things that I shared with you today, things that I used when I was with the brand, to help other brands. Humanize their brands. Get rid of that fear. Now I keep my second to last slide always empty. For two reasons. One, make you think, why is it empty? A drink of water. The difference that you can make is you can help me. Whatever you learn, not only my session, forget my session, whatever you learn from being in this conference, the difference in the things that you made, let me know about it. I am blessed to be able to speak at conferences all over the world. I will share how cool you are, what you did, and no longer have to show you an empty slide. So how do you make a difference? How do you take those snapshots of things that I have tried to share with you? It's really simple. I am going to ask of you, I am going to beg of you to get out there and work, to get out there and play, to get out there and create content with the passion of a 9-month-old child, because they have no fear. They only have smiles. If you can do that, you will make a difference in the lives of your customers. My name is Ramon de Leon. I have been blessed and honored to be able to share with you what I call the mind of Ramon and the passion of RamonWOW. Thank you very much for putting up with me today, and I am out of here. No idea how we're doing on time. I got no idea if anybody got a question, but you could just tweet me. I'm always available.
We do have one question over here.
Ramon, how many photos do you have on your phone?
Oh my God, I got albums. See, what I do is, when I take photos, right, and especially if I think I might use it in a conference, right away it goes into an album called Speaking. And so then I'm always taking photos and just keeping them, you know, so that when I need them, you know, I have that arsenal. And I did the same thing when I was in the pizza business. So somebody would treat me, hey, I just ordered a pepperoni and mushroom pizza. I had like 15 photos of pepperoni and mushroom pizzas, and I would treat them, oh, it probably looks like this. So, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ramon.
No, I had a blast.
So this does conclude our presentations for today.